In, but it's John Huntsman Jr. in with the conservative crowd. This is the in crowd, after all. The group Club for Growth are rating Republican candidates so far on their pro-growth and largely conservative policies. Former Indiana Congressman Chris Chocola is the president of that group. He joins us right now. Congressman, good to have you. I like to keep it very simple, but looking at some basic stuff that are near and dear to conservatives, you went through the candidates one by one. Let's talk about Governor Huntsman, Ambassador Huntsman first, and break down what you like and don't like. You like the fact that on tax cuts he's got a good record?
Yeah, he has a very good record on tax policy. He passed a flat tax in Utah. Utah already had a relatively low tax burden, and he lowered it further. So we give him really an A grade on taxes. But
is governor a bit of a spending issue?
Well, he did have a spending issue. You know, you have to look at the environment in which governors govern in. Utah is the reddest of red states. And you compare him to people like Pawlenty, who grew spending at about 3.4%, Romney, who grew spending in Massachusetts about 2.2% on average during their tenure. He grew spending over 10% on average every year as the governor of Utah. So we think that that is indication of a spending problem. We think our country has a spending problem, and that's not the skill you want to take.
You made the comparison with Mitt Romney. You did say to that 2 or 3% figure that he did keep a lid on spending, but that Massachusetts health care plan is his Achilles heel, huh?
Well, I think it's tempting to say it's a hurdle that he has to clear, but I think it's more like a pole vault that he has to clear. He has to find a way to explain away the similarities between Obamacare and Massachusetts health care. There are many similarities when people look at it.
And people don't like it. People don't like it. All right, so I'm sorry,
sure.
Congressman, I do want to rifle through some of the others. Governor Pawlenty makes a good case on taxes, not a great case on some of the issues that are of importance, cap and trade, right?
Well, again, Tim Pawlenty governed in a very blue state. He kept spending low. He kept taxes low. He did raise cigarette taxes. He called that a health impact fee, I think.
Right.
But he did back cap and trade. He has since repudiated that. He calls it a clunker. And, I think one of the things we have to look at, have candidates learned from their clunkers, so to speak, or do they defend him? Pawlenty has clearly taken the strategy that he's going to say, I have clunkers, I made mistakes, let's move on. Where Governor Romney, he says, I made mistakes. Well, he doesn't say I made mistakes. He's defended some of the criticisms.
Let's talk about the non-politician, Herman Cain. You like his rhetoric, but you don't like that rhetoric when it supports things like TARP, as he has, right?
Yeah, you've got kind of two categories of candidates. You got governors that have been chief executives. I think they have the most revealing record. You have legislators who have been able to take positions on issues but haven't really been able to lead because they're not chief executives. Then you have Herman Cain, who's never been elected, which isn't a detraction at all. Right. He's got great rhetoric. He says all the right things. He did support TARP. I think he still supports TARP. But he says a lot of the right things. And he's been, I think, appealing to a lot of people because of that.
Rick Santorum, the former senator in Pennsylvania, you like his record on taxes, that sort of thing. But he was an earmark senator, wasn't he?
He was an earmarker. I think he's defended earmarks as late as 2009. He's also a bit of a protectionist. He supports steel tariffs, tariffs on China. But he also provided a lot of leadership on entitlement reform. He was very instrumental in welfare reform. So like all these candidates, there's no perfect candidate, believe it or not. They all have good points. They all have bad points. We encourage people to look at all our white papers at clubforgrowth.org, and they can decide for themselves.
I think it's very interesting. It's a good way of just reading the list. And Congressman, thank you. Good having you.
Thank you, Neil.
Well, no matter who wins that election, that person